physical. It's time to talk some this and more. We gonna talk about it all. DVD, CD, UHD, VHS, books, Blu-ray. Who knows, maybe you'll even see a laser disc today. Let's get physical. We wanna talk some physical media. Movies and TV, music and more. Come check out what we have in store. This is the media house stream. It's time for some physical media on FanZcene.
I know it was like really popular because it like won some Oscars and whatever, but
Jimmy does guys.
It's got the Mighty Ducks guy. It's got that guy.
No! Yes, but no! He's not the Mighty Ducks guy! It's Emilio Estevez! For the Brand. You can never have enough physical media.
Love the crowd. I feel like Al Bundy when he walks in. Yeah. The girls, I'm still looking for those girls that love it.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm looking for some wifey material.
I know. I mean,
I would love to load the dishwasher, if you know what I mean.
it's been a while. It's been a while. So it's got to happen.
Been a while.
It's been a while since I said sorry.
Good evening, folks. How are you?
Yes. Good evening. How are you tonight? Welcome to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene. I'm glad to have Tom with me as always. And once again, tell your friends we're still looking for a third, preferably somebody in their 20s.
That's right. I'm a menage a trois is what we're trying to do here.
We're looking for somebody in their 20s for the show, but I don't need somebody in their 20s.
Oh, yeah. Let's be more specific. Well, I'm not going to say no, but
I mean, I wouldn't say no to a 20-year-old.
I don't know if I can keep up with that, but
I'm in my 40s. I'm at the point I heard somebody say it's like when you realize they're no longer MILFs because they're women your age, and I'm like, yeah, I find 40-year-old women attractive now. So
that's when you start looking at gilfs.
Yeah. How
many grandkids you got, honey?
Only one. All right. I can handle that. but that's how you start off showdown.
How you guys doing out there?
Yes. How you guys doing? Hola to Ace Hanlon. I have absolutely no interest in the Minecraft, and I am sick and tired of hearing Chicken Jockey. So yes, but it is going crazy. Hello, how are you, Ace Hanlon? And hell to you, Brian Barth. Glad to have you with us. Hell to you, Dragonzilla. How do you, Double Fett? Hi, Tim Hayes. Glad to see you as well. Howdy, Psycho, not your daddy. And hell to you, Clark the Shark. Yes, the Physical Media Show is here. And you good job on that last tango. Is it gone already? Did it go bye-bye already?
I haven't checked. I know I grabbed one though, just in case.
Yeah, I need to. I probably should.
There was another one they had out there too. I grabbed.
Yeah. Damn, vinegar syndrome always gets you.
Drop zone or whatever it was. It even comes with a little dude with a little parachute. It's like that's worth the whole money alone.
Yeah, that's cool. What's up, Corlin Rogue? Glad to have you with us. What's up, Cowabunga dude? Glad to see you out there in the chat. Vinabite, welcome. Nice to have you with us. Hail to you, Tyrell72. Good evening. Live long and prosper. And let's see who else we got here. Are we caught up? Did I say Double Fat?
Live long and pre-order. That's what you should do, is make a shirt of that.
Yes, I should.
And have a picture of Spock with a DVD or a Blu-ray or something.
Yeah,
live long and pre-order.
I can't wear my Spock t-shirt anymore. It's like a blanket on me.
I can't wait till that day. Hopefully I lose that much weight. I envy you for that.
Yes. I had to get rid of a lot of nerd shirts. I had a lot. I can't wear any. I had to get rid of them. Yeah, like that's a problem, right? Right. But yeah, anyways, glad to have you all out there in the chat and out there watching. Make sure you tell your friends, and we're going to talk some physical media tonight. So what do we have? But it does look like Last Tango Pair is already out of stock, Brian.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
So,
well, we did get a few minor announcements, I guess. Sabrina, the original, is coming to 4K from Kino Lorber. What else did we hear about?
Didn't Harrison Ford do the remake of Sabrina?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
There wasn't much else otherwise. I think we've gotten. Let me double check something, but it was pretty slow week, I think, for announcements. If I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing much. I know they're saying Amazon is already sold out of Tombstone, so it looks like they probably did that whole thing
Yeah.
again, like they usually do.
And
Oversold.
the Sean Connery box set is official and out for pre-order.
Mhm.
With the Bond movies. Otherwise, it's mostly just new movies. Lilo and Stitch, which I know we already talked about. I know what you did last summer, which we already talked about. Prom Night, which we talked about last week, and the yeah, that's it. There was nothing really for new announcements this week. It was real slow.
Yeah, that's I'm looking through. I don't see anything. Yeah.
Goddamn tariffs.
Well, we did get. I know we've mentioned this one before, but it looks like Just Friends is coming out April 8th, which is kind of stupid.
The
really.
Ryan Reynolds one?
Ryan Reynolds one.
From
Yeah.
who?
Doesn't
Shit
say.
Factory?
I thought maybe, but it doesn't say here.
4K?
No,
or
it's
just
Warner
standard-
Archive. Warner Archive.
Standard Blu-ray?
Yeah, it's from the Warner Archive standard Blu-ray.
That must have never even got a regular Blu-ray then, I guess.
Yeah,
thought it
I
would've.
guess not. Yeah.
It seems new enough you think it would have.
Yeah.
Hello, Steven.
Hello, yes, hello, Stephen, and hello, Anthony Draven. But yeah, I always thought that movie was funny. I would kind of release it
was
around
all right.
Christmas time.
Remember
Yeah,
we
it's not
talked
like
about
the
it before.
greatest. Yeah, you brought it. I think you had the DVD of it and brought it on.
No, I brought it up
Oh,
when I
okay.
brought on the
That
Steve
Steve
Guttenberg movie.
Yeah, Gutenberg. I was about to say
It's
the Gutenberg
basically
one.
the same plot almost. Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Times.
Yes.
No. It was Kino Lorber.
Yeah. What's the Star one? What was the Star one? I have a few of those myself.
Oh shit, Star Maker or whatever.
Star Maker, yeah, Star Maker. I have a few of those.
Fuck. I miss some company should just buy Good Times. I don't care.
Yeah.
And then I showed you like Anchor Bay is coming. Like what's up the? Because didn't somebody buy the name or something like that, or what's going on with that?
It's the new Anchor
that.
Bay.
Yeah.
They're a new company. They I don't think they have all the back catalog because most of that's been
Probably
sold
not.
off.
A lot of those are over at Shout and stuff now. Yeah.
Which that is one of my titles tonight. A new Anchor Bay movie. And they followed me. Shout out to Anchor Bay because they followed me on Instagram and Twitter. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, no, like they bought the name, and I think they have rights to some of the titles, but not like we said, all the I think Shout took a lot of those when they were folded in the first place, and then other companies have now. But yeah, it's a new company now. They're specializing in pretty much what they were specializing in before, genre film and stuff like that, weird titles and all, independent film stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. We'll see how it turns out because I remember the old Anchor Bay had some really cool stuff. It's a shame that they don't have the back title though, because some of those old Anchor Bay Blu-rays are outrageous. If you missed out on them, good luck trying to get them for a decent price. It's insane.
Fortunately, a lot of the special features have carried over the years, but not all of them. And there's some great titles they had back in the day that have never found their way to Blu-ray. So yeah. But all right, yeah, that was pretty much what we had.
That's pretty much it.
I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more about that later then.
Yeah, because I do have a title from Anchor Bay. But yeah, with that, if you want to go first, you can go first.
I can. Let's start with this one. This was a John Ford film. As you can imagine, it starred John Wayne.
Ford Apache.
And Shirley Temple's in it as well. She was
really?
Quite the cutie. And then she's not young in this one anymore. Yeah, she was a little grown up. She's
all grown up. That girl right there
in the movie. Yep. So what's weird is I've never seen this before, and I can see where like a lot of Looney Tunes cartoons and other things stole from this,
Really?
like between the music and just little things. Well, I mean, it was a big Warner Brothers picture from 49 or whatever. Did I say 44? It was 48.
48.
Yeah, it feels like it's earlier than 48. That's the weird thing, is it feels like a movie more from the early 40s
Mm-hmm.
than it does the late 40s. But that being said, it's a decent film. It does drag a bit in the third act, but for the most part, it's a decent film. The first half of the film is kind of more about the personal relationships. Henry Fonda's characters being transferred to Fort Apache. He brings along his daughter, played by Shirley Temple. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
John Wayne and a bunch of guys are already there. And so they're there, and he thinks it's in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing to do. But it turns out he's like, they got the Apache and all that kind of stuff that are troublesome in the area. So that is a little bit more active than he thought. And then also Cochise or whatever broke their treaty and left. And for some reason, and this is where the movie kind of starts getting convoluted, but I guess it kind of makes sense in the whole grand scheme of things. Like they use John Wayne to get Cochise to come back, and then they have a big fight with him. And John Wayne, of course, gets pissed because he's like, "This is my word that you're fucking with," kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a decent movie. It kind of drags in a few scenes here and there where it just kind of, there's like a big dance sequence where they just have a dance. Like, you know what I mean?
Just out of the blue.
Yeah, just out of the, well, here's the thing. You can tell this movie was put out at a time where it was trying to basically adhere and appeal to every demographic.
Mm-hmm.
And that bogs the film down a bit. So you have like the upsides are basically the drama, the action, and there's these little side comedy bits with the O'Rourke brothers or whatever you want to call them, the O'Rourke family, where they almost come off like fucking Three Stooges sketches in the middle of the movie. And it's an imbalance between the whole film where you're kind of diving and weaving between all these different tones throughout the film.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the romantic story going on against the war story going on against the comedy story. It's good. It's just, this is where you fall into a place where I can see where like, yeah, this is why Hollywood needed to learn to just stick to a demographic.
Right.
Because this comes from a time where obviously it was all about family entertainment. Every movie was meant for families. So you have like this big musical sequence kind of thing where everybody's dancing and, all that kind of stuff. So like, yeah, it's just to show off that people are dancing and in their fancy dresses and all that kind of business.
Just get it out there for everybody and everything. Yeah. So.
She got married not too long after this, didn't she? To some dignitary, or I'm trying to remember, or some senator or something like that. I don't even remember. It's been so long.
I think she
great
got
review. Not really. Sorry, Clark the Shark. Wasn't really great. The movie looks pretty good though. I don't think it was put together by the archive, but it does look like it was from a pretty decent 4K scan of either an inner positive or maybe a positive or negative of the film. I don't know for sure. There isn't much for special features. There's a commentary by FanZcene, whoever that is. It's a little featurette thing I think called Monument Valley, John Ford Country, which I think I don't know. I didn't watch it. In a theatrical trailer, so that's all that's on the disc. But it was when I got in that 3 for buy 2 get 1 free sale on Amazon.
On Amazon, yeah. Excuse me 1 second.
All right, I guess I can wax a little bit more. Yeah, Shirley Temple was great in it, actually. It's too bad she did kind of quit after this. I think she could have had a pretty long career. To answer Brian's next question, that's probably going to come up.
Hold on, I have to go check on something. Sorry, Tom. I have to go check on something. I'll be
fine.
back. Right back.
You're fine. And Clark the Shark says, but it is. You nailed it. Well, I'm glad to hear it. So you must have seen it a few times. Excitement from 1 to 10 for Swordfish New Edition. Oh, that's right. We did get those announcements. I think we covered those last week. Swordfish and only one of the other announcements were like brand new. That's right. So yeah, no, it was a pretty decent film overall. Kind of sucks that had to run like that. Who's my favorite character in the Jaws franchise? Probably Quint. I like Quint. Betty Davis came back to life and was 35 and fit. wanted to act, what would you cast her in? She was more franchise. I don't know. It's a good question. One of Ford and Wayne's famous cavalry westerns. Yeah, Tyrell, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's not one I think I'll revisit very often, though.
Sorry, had to check on
No,
something.
you're fine.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Happens. Yeah. So
I was just trying to wax with the audience there.
didn't mean to leave you all by yourself there for a bit. All right.
No, too bad it didn't happen 5 minutes sooner while I was just rambling.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. If you want, we can. I guess we can move on to me, and I did see this real quick. I wanted to address real quick. By the by, this Captain Nabal here says he just recently did a blind buy, best blind buy ever with the movie called The Last Video Store. The thing with that is that's the guy who put that. The guy that put that out is a guy that I've been trying to get on the show, who is a distributor. He's a Canadian film distributor. That's their movie. So that I've been trying to get him on here. They distributed that movie through Canada and North America, and the Arrow released it through them for the rest. So, but with that being said, I will show you mine, since we sort of talked about it on your show. What was that, Sunday night? I did go back and I watched Batman Forever. I don't have the 4Ks of the Batman movies, so it's like they're all with the Superman's Blu-ray. So I did watch Batman Forever for Val Kilmer. So yeah, so I had a hankering after we talked about it, and it's not a bad Batman movie. You know, I did think it gets some crap, but it's a fun movie. It's got its moments, and like we talked about on your show, I thought Val Kilmer is a really, really great Bruce Wayne. I do like his scenes with Nicole Kidman and stuff, and how we talked about how he was much more vulnerable as a Bruce Wayne in that than the rest of them. And then you got Jim Carrey once again hamming it up as a Riddler. You're as blind as a bat. So, you know, it's funny. And then you got Tommy Lee Jones. I forgot. I remembered it was Drew Barrymore was the one girl, but I forgot that it's that. Oh my God, I just had her
Debbie
name.
Mazur? Yeah.
Debbie Mazur was the other girl on his
Yeah.
arm. Yeah, I forgot it was Debbie
She was
Mazur.
the dark one, yeah.
Yeah, the dark-haired one, because Drew Barrymore was the blonde-haired one, and she was the dark-haired one.
The angel and the devil, or whatever they were.
Angel and the devil on his shoulders. And then, of course, yes, Tommy Lee Jones is hamming it up as well, because he's trying to, you know, do what he does and make an impression. And like, we know he didn't like Jim Carrey and everything, but no, it's fun. And
He's trying to outdo Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he's trying to outdo Jim Carrey. Yeah, good. But you know, it's fun. It's a different. I mean, if you were going into this thinking it was going to be like the first two Keaton movies, you surely wasn't. But no, I mean, Val Kilmer, I thought
you'll be disappointed. Cool. I think is what you were.
Yes, very disappointed. That's what I meant to say. Very disappointed. Yeah.
Then again, you might just enjoy the lightheartedness of it. I mean, it is a bit of a change from the last two films.
It is. It does. I mean, I've always been a Superman guy. So it's like, I mean, I like Batman. I do like the Batman movies. I think, you know, the Keaton ones are the best. I've always been a Superman guy, but I always found these original ones good. I remember seeing Batman Forever in the theater, and thought it was cool and it was fun. I mean, of course, there's like, you can go back and retroactively think about stuff like the suit up and the bat nipples and the butt shots and all that stuff, you know, and the designs. I mean, it was Joel Schumacher after all, but like you said, it is a little more take on the Adam West Batman than the and I do like that, because when you really think about, for the most part, just about every single Batman movie has been based on Frank Miller's Batman, The Dark Knight. And it's nice to see a little bit different. I mean, Batman and Robin takes it to a different level, and it's not, I mean, it's a fun watch, but it's not a good movie. You know what I mean? But yeah, Batman Forever is
one of those movies I've come to appreciate more as the years have gone by and we've gotten more Batman films. Because now we have so many different kinds that it's almost like it's okay that we have, you know, that version. I was able to enjoy it the last time I watched it. I
Yeah.
remember talking about it on here when I did. So
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's a fun. I mean, even if you don't like it or not, it's still a fun movie, a fun watch, and everything. So, but no, Batman Forever, I think is a little bit of undersung of the Batman movies. So,
mhm.
but no, I had fun. Like I said, with Kilmer and everything. So it was nice to revisit that and stuff. And I am looking forward to getting my Tombstone if I actually get it. So.
I pre-ordered it long enough ago.
I did too. I did too. So hopefully. But no, yeah. There was I just had a hankering to watch Batman Forever after we talked about it on your show. Um, but yeah, there you guys have it. Maybe one day we'll get the Schumacher cut. I know some people have seen it. I don't know if
I haven't seen it, but I know enough about of what's in it that don't expect it to be like that different.
that's what I've
Like,
heard.
and in fact, all the scenes that are in it, pretty much most of them, as far as I know, are on the disc that you have right there.
Yeah,
They're
like
just in the deleted scenes.
yeah.
And that's all that is somebody took those deleted scenes and I think they found one or two other scenes maybe, and they cut them
Mhm.
into the movie. That's what has been going around and people have been watching is the Schumacher cut, is my understanding.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
and
that's
really,
what
if you just kind of want an idea of what it's supposed to be, you can pick up the comic book adaptation for pretty cheap on like eBay and stuff usually. It has all the extra and that or the novelization is my understanding too, has all those
Mhm.
scenes in them intact and the order they initially, because that's the other thing is they changed a little bit of the order of the editing, I guess.
Yeah.
But it changes a few things overall, but not like immensely. But like I just hope people don't get like their hopes up that it's like a Donner cut type movie situation. It's not.
Yeah.
It's very minimal. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean, that's what I've heard. I know people have been fighting for it, but everything like you just said, everything I've read and heard about it was like it's a little different, but it's not like outrageously like groundbreaking, completely different movie.
No, the big difference is you see the intro, you see Two-Face had escaped from Arkham, and there's like
Mhm.
writing on the wall, like kill the bat or something like that. And you hear him laughing as he's leaving, and I think that he kills like one of the guys in there. And then you see where the cop that he kidnaps or whatever and puts in the thing, like there's a little bit more of that. It's all
Right.
leading up to the intro, basically. Like Batman they just cut all the intro stuff out so they get Batman in there right away, basically.
Yeah.
And it works fine in the intro it's in now. I mean, but I get where people are like, oh, I'd like to see it. You know, I would too.
Yeah.
But I mean, unless they do it legitimately and do it really good, then I don't want to see I don't care about some fan cut. I can just watch the deleted scenes.
Yeah, I don't want to see like where it's all edited in, like it goes from HD to 4:3, TV like VHS style. I don't want to see that. Give me the legit cut,
Yeah.
good high definition or whatever you can put it in. So yeah, but no, yeah, Batman Forever I think is not as bad as I think. It's kind of been lost in the shuffle because from what I remember, it was done very well. Not too many people talked too bad about it, but then Batman and Robin came out, and then like everybody universally hated that.
Yeah.
So I think Batman Forever kind of got lost. You know
Well,
what I mean?
with the whole like with the whole thing with the Schumacher cut, it has gotten a little bit more attention in the last few
Yeah,
years. So
yeah.
yeah. And I think
Well,
it was the first of the three films to get one of those special box sets that Warner Brothers did. Where all it was, it's the same Blu-ray that 4K
yeah,
that we already have, but it's just one of their chunky boxes that they do.
yeah. With all the goodies in it and
They've
everything.
done all four of them now, but they started with Batman Forever. So if that tells you anything,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, it was. Who knows? It might have been like one of their better selling titles. Yeah, maybe that's why they did it.
oh, I know it did very well on video. Like I
Yeah.
mean, all the first three did very very well on video, but
Mm-hmm.
I think until the Lion King, the first Batman was the highest selling VHS. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it had like 300 or close to $400 million in VHS sales, but then Lion King beat it with 500, I think it was, and then I think Jurassic Park beat it before that with like 300 or 400. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It was kind of like at
Yeah.
that point where everybody had a VCR, in just about every big movie that came out was beating the record. Kind of like with DVD. It was the same thing for years. Every time some big title would come out, a new record would be set.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It cracks you up now is like all that is missing. They've cut that like
Right.
arm of finance off completely, and I don't know if they just ignoring it or they don't really realize it. You know? I mean, yeah, I'm sure they're making good money on video on demand and everything, but I guarantee it's not like the early days of video and DVD. I guarantee it's not making money like that anymore. But anyways,
Oh hell no.
yeah, it's most people get that crap for free because as soon as that hits video on demand, people torrent that or make their own
Yep.
Blu-rays. So I had it, Preston. But let's get to you, Tom. What do you got for us for your next pick?
Well, actually, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because this next movie I'm going to talk about was shot in what's considered a dead format. But the format was actually a precursor, and you still see echoes of it to this day in things like IMAX, 4DX, hell, even some theater screens for the longest time, their gimmick was kind of basically mimicking this. But they never were quite the original Cinerama. And of course, I'm talking about How the West Was Won.
Oh, hello, yeah.
And for those who may not know what Cinerama is, there's a documentary on this disc that explains all that. And anything you ever heard that has Rama in it comes from Cinerama. It was a huge phenomenon. It was the IMAX before IMAX. It was literally 3 strips of film from 3 different cameras that were put together as one big picture, right? So they kind of, after a while, they quit doing it with the 3 strip process and started just using 70 millimeter. Just wasn't the same though. So like 2001 and some other later Cinerama films aren't technically really in Cinerama, if that makes sense. But what it was a spherical process, and the guy who invented it, it was initially used by the military when he figured it out, but his whole thing is he wanted to be able to shoot movies like the actual eye saw things, if that makes sense. So he did all these scientific tests and figured it out from all sorts of different cameras, and then finally figured it out to make it work with Cinerama the way it did. And
Right.
Let me see if I can show you what it looks like. All right, so here's what it looks like on a standard TV screen now, if you're watching it in the Cinerama version. Or you can just watch it in a straight letterbox version if you wanted to as well. But that's the way the screen would curve around the audience, right? So this was put together by 3 different pieces of film. Now, if I zoom in here, you can kind of see the seam right there and right there. So the quality is amazing, though. And now with computer technology, they've been able to clean this seam up way better than they ever have before. But so you can watch it in either the Smile Box version like this, or you can watch it in the letterbox version. And I'll be honest with you, I like the Smile Box version because even though it feels like it's getting a little squished at the sides, the way your peripheral vision works, it feels more natural than watching the widescreen letterbox version, because the widescreen letterbox version just feels very distant and wide. Because the way they shot it was like the most focal thing you're going to see is always going to be in the center of the screen. But this thing caught like a lot of the view, because it was 3 cameras that were mounted together basically, right? So it's almost like a 3D process in a way, but it's not 3D. It's kind of weird. So there's only been 2 films that are technically shot in this, otherwise the rest of them are documentaries.
Right.
And it was this and the Brothers Grimm, and I have the Brothers Grimm. So I'll bring that on eventually, but there's a great documentary about the whole process, how it happened, and basically how this ushered in not only widescreen, but stereo surround sound. So, I mean, if it wasn't for this process, movies wouldn't really be like they are today, but it was a fad that didn't last long, but it made so much money and it was so popular that they actually took it on tour. So back in the day, like if you were in school as a kid, chances are you would go see This Is Cinerama or This Is America or something like that from one of their things, right?
Right. Yeah. That's cool though. I mean, I don't think I've ever watched one like that before, so it looks pretty neat.
It
So
is kind of a weird experience. It's like 3D without being in 3D.
kind of like the IMAX thing, right? Where you're
Kind of,
surrounded.
very much like IMAX. Yes, with
Yes.
that kind of high quality. Because that's the other part, is having the 3 pieces of film together. You're getting 3 35 millimeter strips of film
Mm-hmm.
together, basically. So it's that much quality. So like, here's a piece from this is a piece from This Is Cinerama of the. Whoops! Now of course it's gonna freeze it me just because. Of the roller coaster thing. So this is one of the first things you see in Cinerama, because they'll talk about it being like this normal size screen, and then the guy would get done and it would go, "This is Cinerama," and it would open up and it keep going and going and going. And then next thing you know, you're on this. And they said they noticed that people in the audience would be like leaning and get like screaming. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, we're going down.
yeah, like they were actually like feeling the inertia, or whatever the word is I'm looking for, from the movement, because it really mucks with your peripherals, like,
Mm-hmm.
'cause it makes you feel like you're in that space. It's really something. And I mean, I was experiencing some of it just on my small TV screen, which, I mean, it's not really small. It's an 80 some,
Yeah.
86-inch TV screen. But that being said, I can't imagine what it was like seeing this on a huge motherfucking screen that took
Yeah.
up basically like half of the wall of the building, right? Like this, you think IMAX is big. This was like 3 IMAXs.
Dang, man, that's crazy. I mean, that would be an interesting experience again to see a movie like that again.
So yeah, so let's talk about the movie itself. So they
Yeah,
tried to find
absolutely.
ways to make a couple of films work, because they knew that once, they got through the basic stuff, like, we got to come up with more than just,
Mm-hmm.
documentaries. And so it's shot a little bit differently than a regular film, but they've
Mhm.
got a couple different directors. I'm trying to remember all of them here, because this is a huge sprawling epic, and it almost feels like the precursor to those big event TV miniseries movies where they have a shitload of stars. In fact, I think they remade this as a TV miniseries years later.
I think they did. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but you got
remember.
Henry Hathaway, John Ford again. So
Mhm.
George Marshall were the directors, and John Ford, I guess, hated shooting with the Cinerama cameras. And it was because he couldn't shoot it like a regular film, and he hated it because he liked to sit right next to the camera, so he could see what the camera was seeing. Well, he couldn't sit next to the Cinerama camera because the Cinerama camera would see him.
I don't want to look at myself.
So they made a special mount for him that he sat above the camera. And it worked for him, I guess, but like, he only shoots, but it's like basically like 5 or so vignettes, stories of characters that
Mm-hmm.
cross over, kind of. If
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like, John Wayne's in it. You got like Henry Fonda's in it. Gregory Peck's in it. George Papard's in it. Robert Preston's in it. Debbie Reynolds is in it. Jimmy Stewart's in it. Eli Wallach's in it. Spencer Tracy narrated it. You got people like Walter Brennan in it. I mean, just a huge fucking cast. Harry Morgan is in it with John Wayne, and they're seen together, so they're like teamed up again.
Mm.
Which is sad, because John Wayne's scene is one of the shortest scenes. Like, he's hardly in the movie. But overall, no, it's just a sprawling kind of story of various aspects of the West, told through character arcs. And I'm kind of surprised at how it isn't brutal, but I'm kind of surprised at how honest it was in certain aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's an enjoyable film for the most part. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can tell which part John Ford directed, obviously, as Tyrell says here.
Yeah. Look at this. I could totally join tonight, but I didn't
Well,
watch
get in here.
anything.
You can still talk to us and ask questions and stuff. It would have been nice to have somebody in here when Greg had to take off earlier.
Yeah, it could have bounced off of you.
But yeah, so that was that. There's not much else I can really say.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I have seen the movie.
Oh, I should say, if you want the Cinerama version, because don't just keep in mind, if you get the standard version of this, it just has the one disc. and it's just the letterboxed.
Mm.
So if you want the Cinerama version, you got to get the book with the 2 discs version.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because the Cinerama version's on here. But otherwise, the documentary and the standard letterbox version's on the other one. I mean, some people are probably going to just prefer to watch it in the standard letterbox because you're not really missing anything. They just squished it into a letterbox, but it's a really wide screen,
Mhm.
right? Like even wider than like Ben-Hur, I think was.
That'd be insane. I mean, could you
Well, it's
imagine
because it
that?
squishes it out all the way. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
it feels like it's wrapping around you if you're sitting close enough or you got a big enough screen.
Mhm.
But I can imagine if you have a smaller TV, you might just want to go with the letterbox version because otherwise it's going to look kind of skewed and weird off to the sides to you. Because that's all
Yeah.
it's doing is squeezing out that focal link like it would if you were sitting in the middle of a Cinerama.
Yeah.
Hi, Rook.
Yeah, look.
Beef by faux fum. The Rookster has finally come.
And empty-handed as usual.
Indeed. Yet full of charm. What's up, chat? You missed me again, and guess what I've watched? Not much. So, empty-handed, yes. In terms of
I wouldn't
movies.
say full of charm. I wouldn't say full of charm.
Tons of charm. Your
Can't believe
rookie
you're
charm.
not working at Subway. Are you sure Subway doesn't
Yeah.
need you?
You sure your
Oh,
wife?
dude, we hired this one lady who's like worked for 10 years at Subway, and oh my god, I just started training her. She's amazing. So I
just
might not
trained
have
your
to
replacement.
work every
Yep.
freak. I know, yes. Motivation to leave. I don't have to be anchored and be like, oh, yes. You guys can live without me. Now I'll drive off into the sunset in my invisible car because I don't have a car yet. So, yes.
You'll ride off on the sunset on a steed.
Exactly. You
He
got
has
it.
no idea what you're doing.
No, I have no idea. No,
John
you mean
Wayne.
I know his steed is a horse, and I assume you're referencing a movie I've not
Come
seen.
on, you don't.
so-
I'm not referencing shit. I'm just being John Wayne.
just-
I mean,
yeah,
you don't know the
be
name
John
John
Wayne.
Wayne.
John Wayne. I have heard the name. I don't know if I've
ain't
seen
gonna
any
hit
movie
you
with
the
him.
hell I ain't.
Have I s-
Daddy, one more time.
Is that more of a character or an
You can
actor?
call me
Like, I actually
father,
don't
you
even
can
know.
call me pa, you can call me dad, but if you call me daddy one more time, son.
Hanging next the shit out of him.
See, I'm so out of the loop. I don't even know. Is that an actor or is that
Are you fucking kidding me
Oh,
or
right
is that
now?
a character?
Get him out of here.
Like a
Get him
character or
outta
an
here.
actor?
You
I don't know.
seriously don't know who the fuck John Wayne is?
Like the cowboy?
Oh my god.
The cowboy that went to the moon or something? I don't know.
To the moon.
Or China. I don't know. Either way. He went somewhere.
The Duke.
Pretty sure he went somewhere.
Dude, how quickly he derailed the stream that quick.
How does he not know who John Wayne is?
John Wayne Gacy. That's somebody else, right? John Wayne
Oh
Gacy.
my
That's a little
fucking
different.
God.
No.
The
Is that the
man he
same
was
guy?
named after.
I have no idea.
That's
Yeah, sounds right. Also, that's cowboy.
Cowboy.
Something. Unless he's the
That's a
next guy next to
cowboy.
him. Yeah, it's pretty
Oh
close.
my lord.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord.
Oh
That's
my
pretty
god.
I
close. So
get it,
is
he's
he-
young and naive, Tim, but
He's in
What?
that Will Smith movie too, right? With the giant spider.
everybody knows who John Wayne is.
I mean, your dad had to have at least watched one of his movies at one point.
But you've probably mentioned him before. I just,
He's like
I
the
never saw
Easter
them.
Bunny and Santa Claus. Like,
I've never heard anybody say, "I can't wait for John Wayne to come this whatever holiday he would be around."
no, I just mean
What
everybody
would
know-
be a John
You
Wayne
know-
holiday?
My point is, you know who he is, even if you've never seen one of his movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I've heard of him. I've heard of John Wayne. I just
Okay,
have no
thanks the
idea.
Lord.
That's kind of my point. Like I've heard of John Wayne, this name, and I associated it
Let
with
me
a
guess,
cowboy.
you've seen the remake of True Grit, haven't you?
I've never seen True Grit.
What?
I think is that Sean Connery in it though? Because I think that's like in a queue somewhere that I got to watch at some point. Unless that's a totally different movie, and I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, there was a version of True Grit not that long ago with Jeff or not Jeff Goldblum, Jesus Christ, Jeff Bridges.
Who's crazy now, huh?
I know you got me all over the place now.
I bet you've seen
But
Shanghai
John Wayne was in
Noon.
the original. I don't even think he's seen Star. He probably doesn't even know what Star Wars is.
Yeah, like 6 that has Rooks in Star Wars.
Is that the one with
That's the
the guy
one.
with
That's
the
the one where
pointy
they fight
ears?
over spice, right?
No, Lord, no. No.
That's Tremors.
Yes, that's Tremors. All right, let's go. Move on.
All right.
My head hurts.
It's insanity. Oh my god.
You're welcome, chat.
Anyways, I have brought this one on before, but it's been at least 2 or 3 years, and I had a hankering to watch this. Speaking of like old school heroes and stuff, I did watch VFW with Stephen Lang, what's his name, Martin Cove, Fred Williamson, and William Sadler, and Norm from Cheers. I can't think of his name right now, and the one dude from The Crow, Fire It Up, Fire T-Bird.
John Ratzenberger, is it?
No, not John Ratzenberg. Norm.
Oh, Norm. That'd be. Oh, now I forgot his name.
Yeah, no, I'm looking. George Wendt. Yes, George Wendt. Yes, this is a great movie. I don't know if you guys remember because like I said, I brought it on. I think it was about 3 years.
I have
ago.
it, but I've never watched it yet. I still haven't.
It's a fun movie. It's basically John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13, basically mixed in with a little George Romero. It's a shot on film, but however, the 4K is a little disappointing because it does not have the HDR. It's one of those, that they put out without the HDR, not from the same company that did it.
I'd rather, as long as it's a 4K master, that matters more.
But it is, yeah. It was 4K. It was shot on film. All the effects are practical. It's just like an old school badass movie. The plot of the movie is it's a little bit into the distant future, not like too far into the future. There's a new drug that they call hyper, and it gets people so addicted that like all they can do is think about the drug, constantly. And then this drug dealer and his crew set up in this building right across the street from this VFW, which is run by Stephen Lang's character, and he's he owns the bar inside the VFW, and like all this, like William Sadler, Fred Williamson, Mark Cove, George Wendt, all them, they're all ex-soldiers. They're there drinking. They're going to celebrate Stephen Lang's birthday party. But across the street at the drug den where they're selling all the hyper and everything, the bad guy kills this girl, and her sister comes in and robs him of all the drugs and ends up running over into the VFW. And the moment she steps foot into the VFW, she becomes a responsibility because they are soldiers and they are bound by duty to protect the innocent because the girl is innocent. And so like they're holed up in this VFW bar while all these like they're not like zombies, but like they're so drugged out, like they're surround the bar and like they're trying to get the drugs back and everything. So, and it's a lot of like old school, like just kick ass, manly, just doesn't matter how old you are, we're going to kick your fucking ass and blow your head off and protect this girl and everything. So it's a real fun movie. If you've never seen it, I do recommend it.
So the drug is basically cocaine.
But yeah, it's like they call it hyper. So it's just like it's just cocaine. So pretty much, because it is just powder. It's just like blue powder in the movie. Is all it is. Like big block.
I mean, really, what you described was cocaine.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is cocaine. Yes.
You get addicted and you think about it constantly. So yeah.
Yes, and it's like basically it's cocaine and everything, but they kind of like use it as all forms of drugs. Yes, you get hyper and like they're running at the place and everything, and so like these old school guys, have to kick ass and stuff. But
yeah, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, it's
You've seen it twice, and I haven't seen it once.
Yeah, I've seen it twice. Yeah, I've seen it twice now. But I mean, the 4K does look good, but it doesn't have that HDR on it. But it does. Yeah. It's got the grain. It feels like you're watching an old movie, if like a movie from the 80s. It really, truly does, because it's got the grain and everything.
I didn't know it was shot on film, so
yeah. It's shot on film, and the guy, he also did the one Santa Claus movie, which I did not like, but he shot that on film too.
Which one? The Violent Night one or the other one?
the one with the robot Santa Claus.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can't remember it.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Santa, I don't know. I can't remember what it's called.
There's so many of them now.
Yeah, but I didn't like that one. That one that sucked. But no, this one's really good. It feels like it's just like an old school '80s movie. Definitely. Yeah. It's definitely influenced by John Carpenter with, like I said, with a little bit of George Romero. So yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I just felt like watching that again, and so I did.
Well, speaking of old school horror, I can jump off of that one pretty well. But you got a super chat, so
yeah. Okay, we'll get right to it. It says Bronson Wright Wolf, thank you for the $5 super chat. It says I've always liked Michael J. Fox as Stuart Little. What is your favorite MJF performance besides Back to the Future and or Family Ties? Well, thank you very much for the $5 super
Teen
chat.
Wolf or
I think we've said this before, but I've always liked Teen Wolf and The Hard Way.
The Hard Way's really good too. Yeah, those are probably my two other favorites. Otherwise, I was trying to think of something where he kind of challenged himself, maybe in the acting side of things. Like, I mean, he's done a lot of good stuff. I mean, he's always one of my favorites growing up. Doc Holliday's great.
Yeah.
But no, The Hard Way is great. Like, especially like the scenes like, you don't want me to grow up. Studio doesn't want to grow up. When you grow up, I'm the only one that's me grow up. He says that like a big fucking baby about it.
Yes, the Frighteners.
Son of a bitch.
Great. Yes.
I almost said something really stupid. I know that'd be shocking to you guys.
Oh my god!
Really, Rook?
I thought I was gonna say I was gonna be like Michael J. Fox wasn't in Stuart Little. I was thinking of the little kid that's in there.
Oh,
and I'm like, that's not Michael. He voices the right. Yeah, no, I thought of his voice. Oh yeah, okay.
As far as his voice work, I loved him as Chance.
I liked. I was about to say Chance. Homeward Bound. I loved those ones. Great.
God, I love Michael J. Fox. Greed is another one that people sleep on a lot.
He's good.
Probably haven't seen.
Yeah.
I didn't even hate For Love or Money. I thought that one was actually a pretty decent romantic comedy. Of course, Secret of My Success. It's a little out there, but it's fun. It has some great fun moments, but it's a weird kind of movie in a way. But no, I love all his stuff, really. I mean, even some of his lesser stuff. Like, I mean, there's Light of Day and what's the drug one that he did? I was trying to think of the drug one he's in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm trying to think of it. And then, of course, there's Casualties of War.
Life
which is
with
probably
Mikey.
his most dramatic. Oh, Life with Mikey is one of his more overlooked. That one is fucking hilarious.
I like that one. That was good. I mean, I know you're going into the dramatic ones, but that one popped in my head.
No, I always see. I just forgot about Life with Mikey too, even though that's one of my more favorite ones of his too. And Nathan Lane is great in that as his brother.
Yep.
Well, I'm just realizing how few things I've seen Michael J. Fox and stuff.
American President is another one he's really good in too.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
And he doesn't play like a major role. He's like kind of a semi-secondary role, but he's still really good in it. Trying to think what else did he do in that era that was really good.
Does he do other voice stuff other than like Stuart Little and Chance and stuff?
Because he really hasn't worked a whole lot since he's gotten sick. The voice stuff he did at first, and then he kind of backed off on that after a while.
I guess I was going to say, like, I would assume that if he's still sick or if it's harder to do in-person acting, I would assume that he'd do voice acting stuff because his voice is kind of unique for that kind of, certain
but
characters.
He can't talk as well as he used to. Like, he even did a voice for the Back to the Future game, and he ends up playing like his great uncle, and he doesn't even do the voice of Marty because, he doesn't.
He can't really get into that zone anymore.
No.
He did do that character from that Disney movie Atlantis.
That was that was back still before.
Yeah, that was back before
late 90s, early aughts, but.
He's oddly got one of those really recognizable voices without really trying to, in a way. I was watching a video talking about some of the Back to the Future things. They're trying to cast somebody else to be him for a while, and they're just picturing Michael J. Fox the whole time, and they're like, we just need him, just bring the right energy or something.
You're talking about all right, on to the horror.
Yes, what do you have? And thank you, Bronson, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it.
Well, speaking of classic horror. I have a remake of a classic horror film. Okay. How do I go about doing this? This is a Shit Factory movie. And it is an up convert. Keep that in mind. I don't have a Blu-ray to compare it to, though. Because I honestly don't know if I've ever watched this entire movie. I think when I first saw it, I must have just been in the wrong mindset
Mm-hmm.
or something, because I think I must have bailed on it pretty early. But watching it this time, I found it extremely entertaining, well casted, and exactly the type of tone and energy they should be bringing to the new
Yes.
Dark universe. And of course, they only have the
The
director's
Wolfman.
cut in 4K, which is fine, but there's one problem. I don't know why they never fixed the line. Is she says, I should have never sent you that letter, when in the director's cut, she actually comes to see him in London or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, other than that, that's the only thing that's a problem. Otherwise, I think I probably prefer the extended cut just because there's more character in it and a bit
Mhm.
more with Anthony Hopkins. But yeah, no, this movie was pretty fun. And it's directed by Joe Johnston. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've always kind of liked that one. I mean, I think it just came out at the wrong time. I really just think it came out at the wrong time. Because like when I was watching when I talked about Nosferatu, I was saying that I think Nosferatu achieved what that movie was trying to achieve.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely tell that Joe Johnston obviously would have grew up with the original, right? And you can tell this pays loving homage to that.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. It almost feels like it fits in with Bram Stoker's Dracula and Branagh's Frankenstein. You know what I mean? Like it fits.
Yeah.
Like I could see it being a nice one to add to that.
Like that Universal Monster era type of movie.
Yeah, if you're going to do like a nouveau kind of night, that's a perfect trilogy, right? Like you got right there to where, yeah. No, I had a lot more fun with it this time. I just must have been in the wrong mindset or something the first time. I don't know.
It's like when it first came out, I don't think people expected much from it, so they kind of maybe not just gave it a chance or something.
It does help that I just rewatched the original here. What was it? About a month ago? Whatever it was.
Too long ago. You with a bunch of werewolf movies you was watching.
And I can definitely see all the, this is basically doing, just taking that original story, that original idea, and building upon it. And it does. It almost feels like it came from whatever novel that the original Wolfman would have been based on. But for those who don't know, that's one of the few original Universal horror monsters to, like, a lot of that stuff is all stuff they created in that movie. It's not really based on anything.
Yeah, because like Dracula had the book, Frankenstein had the book, stuff like that.
In fact, a lot of the Wolfman's mythology comes straight from Dracula, actually.
Yeah, with the wolf and everything. Yeah, and it also's got a little bit of a what's that Tim Burton movie with Johnny Depp?
Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow. It's got a little bit of Sleepy Hollow in it. Like I always, with like the mom and stuff, I always got a little bit of like a Sleepy Hollow feel to it.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I guess maybe it's just because it's that Victorian era-esque type feel to it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think it'd be a great, like one of these times whenever I watch, the Francis Ford Coppola Dracula and the Branagh Frankenstein, I'll throw this in for the. I'll throw this in the mix now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying, because like when I was watching Nosferatu, I was like, man, I think that Wolfman movie was just a little too soon. Because it felt like that achieved.
Well, I think it came out in that era. They were trying to rebuild the monsters. It just wasn't working with that, and the Dracula Untold and all that stuff just wasn't working. All the stuff they kept trying.
Yeah.
So our special features, I didn't get into any of them. There is one new Fur and Fang with folklorist and author Dr. Karen Stalznall on werewolf. So it's not even anybody from the movie. Who gives a shit? And the other one that might be more interesting is The Wolfman Blooms Again with makeup effects artist David Elsey on The Wolfman. I don't know if he actually worked on the movie or not, but I don't think he did. But otherwise, then you just got some older stuff. Looks like alternate endings, deleted and extended scenes, Turn of the Wolfman featurette, The Beastmaker featurette, Transformation Secret. I'm assuming these are all on the old Blu-ray.
Yeah. If I remember, I think Gene Simmons and a couple other people they mixed in as the Howl for him when he does it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's like Gene Simmons and another rocker. I can't remember his name, and then Wolf with some mixing with Wolf to create the way he sounds. When
No, it does it right. It takes it seriously. It stays well within the realm of the original story, while what it added to it didn't detract or take away from it. You know, yeah, they amped up the father-son thing a little bit, right? I mean, a little bit of the kind of like the Hulk.
Yeah,
it almost kind of has like what we wanted out of the Hulk.
It does. It
with
sort
Eric
of
Bana,
does.
where you finally get to see old man versus the young man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the ending, if anything, is kind of quick, bang, bang. You're like, oh, shit, that's all we're getting? Like,
yeah. It's just real quick. Yeah. And it's got the, what's his name sort of takes over the part of the dad from the Matrix movies as an inspector. He kind of...
Yeah, he's the only original character here, I think, is my understanding. Because all the other characters are from the original story. He's the only original one. And he kind of is like a Van Helsing type, right? Like, he's a Scotland Yard guy is what he is. But yeah. I like this character. And you kind of need him. He helps kind of bring you through, because in the original film, some of his part is taken by the dad, and I think that other doctor and some other stuff. But you kind of need that kind of a character to kind of carry us through and get us from the outside looking in, kind of thing. Yes. Where he's kind of, and I like his little mystery where he's kind of figuring it out as he goes along. And like, you know, one of his best bits is when they bitch at him. He's like, "What the hell are you doing in the bar with all these people getting killed?" He's like, "Well, there's 200 people in this town."
Yeah.
And most of them are in here right now, or within 200 yards of here. So it seems that if there's going to be an attack, the chances are most likely it's going to happen within this area. So I think I'm just in the right place. So a pint, please.
A pint of bitter.
A pint of bitter, please.
Yeah, it's good. No, I did like it, and that's what I was saying. Like, because I liked how, like, the superstitious. We know it's a Wolfman, but he's coming off the Jack the Ripper case. So he's assuming that it's a man, like a Jack the Ripper, and he's not going to fail this time, which is what I liked also, because I know that's part of it.
Adds a little element to it. Yeah.
I know that's part of the Nosferatu story, but I liked how he masked his entrance into it as the plague.
You know, it's funny you said that, because like I wish I had seen this before we did our Nosferatu documentary, and I don't know if Andre's ever seen this movie, because you just said exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, this is taking a lot of inspiration from Nosferatu.
Yes. Exactly. That's what I was saying. That's it. Just I love those old type monster movies like that, man. They're just great. But no.
Is there ever a Nosferatu 3?
No, they never finished the trilogy. One of these days.
That'd be good. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, why not? Why not?
Well, SpongeBob is ready.
Yeah, I know, right? They set him up.
Did you see they updated the SpongeBob Nosferatu to the new Nosferatu?
I did see that. I think I saw that on
cool
Twitter.
Of them. That was cool, yeah. I guess that's in the actual show they did that, yeah.
Oh, they did on that.
Yeah.
When they say it in SpongeBob, I didn't get that his name was Nosferatu, like pronounced like that, because they say it like Nosferatu. I was like, I have no idea what they're talking about. It's like, oh, that guy. Oh, say it slower.
I would
say
love
faster.
to know the origin of the joke, because I don't really get it, but...
Well, it's like a horror thing.
Oh,
there's a the hash slinging slasher is going to come to Subway. I mean, to Krusty Krab and get you. And Nosferatu
Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Little things I should have said and done. Cookies I should have baked. You were always on my mind, white bread or Italian. You were always on my mind. Would you like the foot long or 6? Tell me what kind of meats you want on the bun. Tell me, do you want it toasted, son? Do you want it toasted, son?
You tried to make like a Subway song on the fly?
I just did.
What do you mean?
That's not bad. I mean, honestly, that's not bad. That's not bad. The ones I know
No, it
are
was
like,
actually Willie Nelson. You were always on my mind, but I changed it.
well, what's funny that's still better though, because like the ones I know of are like, I don't want no burger, I don't want something with the grease machine, and
That's
there's like
the
some weird
old
ass
fucking
Subway jingle.
song from the 90s, y'all.
Yeah,
Holy shit, I haven't thought of that song since forever.
I want those fresh and delicious sandwiches. Like this horrible little song.
That is old
That's
as
just like, oh
fuck.
jeez.
That is probably
Or
older than you are, Rook.
I know, it's just funny how I know them. And then there's the other one that's like, Subway bakes my bread up fresh and it's my way, the combo club, the seafood, whatever.
Okay,
Like, just
you know how
listing
old I
things
made
off.
myself feel the other night? I wonder if Greg will get this one. Whose old slogan used to be, you deserve a break today?
Oh, I know
Kit Kat
that.
bar.
No, it was McDonald's.
Yeah, it was McDonald's.
Everybody forgot.
No, I knew that.
That was like a late 80s, early 90s one, I think it was. You deserve a break today?
Nope,
Yeah.
I knew I almost said Burger King, but then I realized it was McDonald's after you said it was McDonald's. Yes.
That sounds kind of like an uplifting like slogan, because it's like, you worked all day, whatever you went through, you need a break. Here's something for you. You need a break.
I
That was
felt
fry food.
I did feel old the other day because my nephew and his girlfriend, she goes in to make donuts for Kroger's, and it's like, oh, it's time to make the donuts. She had no idea where that came from.
The old Dunkin' Donuts man.
Exactly. She had no idea.
She's probably like, yes, we're making donuts.
He got to sleep for what, like 10 minutes or whatever?
Yeah. It's time to make the donuts again.
All right. Yeah, I enjoyed the Wolfman a lot more than I did the first time through. I don't even know if I watched it all the way through the first time.
That's good.
Is it true, guys, that he has nards?
Yes, the Wolfman has nards.
Oh, okay. And that's a new discovery. Gotta update that.
Nice. We need to get Andre
Remember,
back.
I wore this
again.
when Andre was on. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get him back on here again.
I need to watch the movies you recommended I watched. I haven't watched them yet. The ones you wanted me to.
Well, you
All
better
right, what do you got
that.
first, Greg?
All right, I do have something to bounce off of that monster, like the monsters. But first, we do have 2 more super chats real quick, and we'll get to.
Wow, you're popular.
Yeah, I know, right? Dang.
Bronson again says, I've always liked MJ, Michael J. Fox. As Stuart Little, I always think of Stuart Little whenever I hear his voice. And he also sent in another $5. Thank you, Bronson, again, as well for both of these.
I think Bronson is aging himself a little bit there.
Yes. The Frighteners is fun. Doc Hollywood and Disney Pixar film Cars are pretty much the same film. Yeah, actually, I think so.
I've brought that up many a time. Yep,
yeah, you have heard that from me. Yes, and I haven't seen Secret of My Success, but do yourself a favor and watch it. It's pretty good.
And the funny thing about Secret of My Success, going into it when you watch it, is it's loosely based on the bullshit story that Steven Spielberg used to tell about how we got in at Universal Studios.
Yes. Yeah. But we wait by the phone and everything.
How he basically set himself up with a fake office and just started taking phone calls and pretending to be a production guy. It's bullshit, but
yeah,
it makes a good story.
It does.
But no, it's a fun movie. It's a little weird, but fun.
Yeah, it's a little weird fun. So if you haven't seen it,
what's her face is in it too, and she's hot in it. Oh God, what's her name? Helen Slater.
Oh yeah, Helen Slater. Yeah. But so there you go, Bronson, and thank you once again for those 2 super chats. And since he sent 3 in, I'll give you a clip real quick before I get to my video. So here you go.
Yum nub. You've heard of Care Bears? That's an Air Bear.
It's an Air Bear.
Who would win in a fight? Like a village of Ewoks or that version of the Hulk?
The Hulk. The Hulk would win every time.
I mean, the Ewoks beat the Empire, so pretty different power level scale here. We gotta think about.
Hulk, man.
Yeah, but the Hulk's primal as fuck, and like
so are the Ewoks. So. They're
that's my point.
They're
That'd be like
primal.
1-on-1, like.
They got sticks and stones that just may break his bones. You never know.
Saw what happened there. That would be basically what it'd be. He'd be chucking Ewoks, just chucking them, just
boom. Yeah. I remember. I actually did play a video game. I played the Star Wars with the Sam Witwer guy, Force Unleashed.
I got to a point
where
I quit.
Yeah,
It's a fun
but
one. A little bit. The
there's
mechanics are
one
fun.
level where you go to indoor and you could just punt Ewoks. So I just punted.
I don't know if I've ever got that far.
I punted Ewoks for like an hour. Boom, boom, just kicking them and
It's
throwing
kind of
them.
like the Phantom Menace game for the old PS1. You
Yeah.
could kill Gungans, and when you get to Mos Espa, if you kill too many people, Anakin won't help you anymore because he'll call you a filthy murderer.
Anakin won't tell me.
No, and you can't advance any farther in the
You've
game.
killed so many people, you turned Anakin good. It's
and people
a
start
secret.
running
What if
away
Anakin
from you and
turned
calling
good?
you a murderer and all this other
Oh,
shit.
that's funny.
He says, "I hate you," but it's like different context. Just like,
But it won't let you
That's
kill
great.
like Jar Jar and shit. But like, yeah,
That's pretty funny. What game was
Let
that?
you kill a bunch of Gungans. The Phantom Menace for the PS1. It was kind of
PS1.
fun. 'cause
Wow. I
you
remember like
can- when
Jedi Power Battles and like a couple other vague ones, sort of.
Now this is when the first
That
movie
era.
first came out. This was way back when, and I discovered it. Like I discovered the Mos Espa part, and I think I remember you could kill the Gungans, but Yellow Flash reminded me you could kill the Gungans too, like down in the little Gungan town. Like you just start killing them. But I think you get stuck. You might get stuck there too if you do that. I can't remember.
Well,
Is
I
it-
like
you
how
do-
games like that and in the past would give you the freedom to destroy citizens all the time. That's fun option.
Well, it only lets you so far because then Anakin won't help you, and then you're screwed.
Wait, is it like a little boy Anakin or like teenage
Yeah,
Anakin?
he's like, because your next stage, you're supposed to go up to him and talk to him and find him. And if you kill too many people, he's
I
like,
got
why
you.
would I help you? You're a filthy murderer.
For some reason, I was picturing like Revenge of the Sith Anakin going like, "I won't help you for slaughtering
No,
all those Gungans."
little kid on Mos Espa in the desert. Like you just start killing people at random. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it is kind of free roam. It's not like total like one-on-one. Like
Yeah, guys. There's like more space than like a narrow game that would.
it isn't
just
like
go down the road.
GTA style, but it is enough to where like I discovered I could start killing random people.
That's great.
That's fun.
So I'm running around as Qui-Gon Jinn, just like fuck you and fuck this guy and fuck that guy.
That's what I mean. I think it was the Xbox 360 for the Unleashed, and I played that, and it just was punting Ewoks. It's because it's fun. And they go. "Wah." So it's fun.
The force mechanics in Force Unleashed were great. You can like force choke them upside down, throw them. They try to grab onto rails and each other, and you're like, nanner.
I got stuck in the part where you're supposed to bring down the Star Destroyer or whatever, and I could never get past
That part
it. So I
was that
quit.
part's the most annoying part in the
I
game.
quit.
Nobody
I
likes
couldn't
that.
Get any
and
it couldn't get past it. So
nobody likes that as part of the story either. It's like you bring down a like. How about no? How about we don't do that? That'd be better. Like
anyway,
not
what do you
have
got
that.
first, Greg?
Yeah. To bounce off your monster thing, it's a little bit of a monster movie as well, but it's. I finished off my Adam Green watching thing I went with his movie Digging Up the Marrow. It's like a fake documentary where a man claims to know that monsters are real. It's sort of like the story is like what's that Clyde Barker movie?
Nightbreed, yeah.
Yeah. So like there's this it's a fake it's a mockumentary, but it's like this man comes to Adam Green, the actual director Adam Green, and he wants him to tell his story that he has discovered monsters and that they live underground in metropolis type cities, and that's what they all live there, and he's discovered them, and he wants Adam Green to document this. And it's based off of this guy's artwork. What his name is oh my God, where's his name? It's right here. Alex Parday or whatever. He drew these pictures, and so like the story came to him like Adam Green got sent this big old package from a fan about Victor Crowley, the Hatchet. He said that Victor Crowley, the Hatchet, is real, and he told the story wrong, and this is the truth. And he was sending in pictures of where the guy really is from and where the murders really happened. None of that is true at all. It's all fake shit. But like this fan sent him that, and then he met this artist who drew these monsters, And the story behind this artist is monsters was like, there was this detective who discovered monsters and stuff, so he like merged the stories together and created this. So it plays out really well. It's got the humor and everything in it, and you're wondering with the monsters when they're going to show up and everything, and if this guy's true. The one problem with the movie is the guy playing that is supposedly the retired detective who found the monsters, which makes you immediately know it's because they could have played this off like it was almost real. They could have, but the actor is, if you can see, it's Leland Palmer from Twin Peaks. It's actor Ray Wise. So like, if you know who that is, that immediately you kind of, you're like, oh, well, I know that's an actor.
I know who it is.
Yeah, you know who Leland Palmer is. So it's like immediately, so if you know who that guy is, it's like, oh, so it kind of takes you back. But if you don't know who he is, you might find yourself believing this for a little bit. But no, it was a fun movie because it does, you were showing Wolfman there, because in the beginning it talks to all these people at horror conventions talking about, Frankenstein and Dracula and the Wolfman, and how they're fans of monsters, and how they, some people think monsters are real stuff. And then it goes into this documentary about, this guy contacted him and says he claims to have found them. And like, that's why I got the story, was like, it felt like Nightbreed, because he liked the way he describes, which I'm sure Nightbreed was an inspiration on this, because he's like, I've discovered it. The monsters, they live underground, and I call it the Marrow. It's called Meridian, I believe, in the Nightbreed, the area where they live. Yeah. So like, guys, like, goes, I was like, oh, because so like, if you're a horror fan and stuff like that, and monster fan, you'll really dig it, because it does, it's got all that in there. But it does feel like a legit documentary as it plays out. If you can, because there does come a point in time where you do forget it is Ray Wise, because he does a great job. He's an actor, a legit actor. So he does a great job of like, you lose yourself into his character at points, so where you forget that he is actually Ray Wise, the Leland Palmer. So it does work. It does work eventually, but at first you kind of like the suspension of disbelief is there, because as soon as you see him, if you know him. But no, it was a pretty creative movie, and like Kane Hodder does it make appearance in the movie as well, and stuff like that. Tony Todd's in it, so like all the usual suspects that he has in his films are in them, and it's a fun movie. It's and they even like Kane Hodder, I love the joke that Kane Hodder has, because he makes fun of him for found footage. He's like, oh, so you're doing like because it's not a found footage movie, it's like a mockumentary. But the Kane Hodder is like, oh, so you're doing a found footage. Nobody's ever done that shit before. He makes fun of it. So he's got a great line in it. It was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. And yes, there is monsters in it. Are they real or not? You'd have to watch the movie to see where they go. So I don't want to spoil that if you've never seen it. But I finished off my Adam Green movie marathon I was doing. So yeah, but it's great that you brought up the Wolfman, because that sort of segued right into the monster movies. So but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Is John Wayne in any of those?
No.
Salute to you, deleted scenes. Glad to have you with us.
No, he was not.
He was not. No.
I mean, could you see John Wayne versus these, doing them? Would that not be something people would watch?
John Wayne versus the Wolfman? I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like
You
Billy
get
Kid
your
versus
hairy
Dracula.
ass out here, or I'll come in after you.
You growl at me
What's
one
it
more
gonna
time,
be?
dog.
I'll go get a newspaper and roll it up.
I just imagine him from a Big Jake, it was Big Jake, where he's like, dog.
Yeah, that's where he just calls him dog. Yeah,
I can imagine
Dog.
him just like, sick him.
Yeah.
You gonna
All
bite
right.
my neck, are ya? I don't think so, Pilgrim.
All right. Well, I got one more movie left.
Okay. What do you got for us?
This is a new Arrow release from Rennie Harlan.
I was going to buy this. I was going to get it this week, but I forgot.
I have the old one here, and huge upgrade over the old one. Nice Dolby Atmos soundtrack added to it as a bonus. And here's the reversed art on the inside. There you go.
That's the original poster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it looks pretty good. Sure, some of the scenes a little wonky. Like the wonkiest looking scene is when Samuel Jackson gets blown out of the window and they clearly replace the stunt guy with his face, and it looks bad.
Does this happen often? Does this happen often with him? Like in the one where there's like where he gets replaced with a mannequin and stuff. Like, does he often get like weird doubles or copies or stunts?
It's also from the same director who had him get ate by a shark. Remember?
Yeah, pretty hard.
Yeah.
So anyway, for the story, for those who have never heard of it, which I'm sure Rookie's never seen this.
You would guess right. You win $1 million.
Gina Davis plays Samantha, a woman who can't remember who she is, and she has been rebuilding her life for 8 years when she has an accident and starts to remember some things, and conveniently at the same time, this is where the movie gets a little convoluted. And this is where it's only because it's 8 years, right? Like, because it's like, and I'll get into it as I get going here. Because like, so all of a sudden now, like this PI played by Samuel Jackson has had a lead on her past, because she's been working with PIs for years trying to figure out who she was, and she's had no luck. Well, they finally have a break, and so he meets up with her at the same time. She's starting to remember all this other stuff about herself, and of course she contacts somebody from her past. So of course it all comes crashing down at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, just conveniently, the case that she was working on when she first got amnesia, because she comes to find out she's a trained assassin for the government.
Is this like the Bourne prequel?
No, well, yeah, it kind of is. I mean, it kind of is, yes, in a way. And then,
like, this sounds familiar.
Very much, in a weird way, like Bourne. Before Bourne, I think. I don't remember when the books were written, but this came out in, what, 95, 96, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
So anyhow, maybe a little later than that, but maybe it was 99, I don't remember. Either way, point being, so like she starts to remember things just as this big deal is supposed to be going down that she was supposed to prevent in the first place or whatever. So there's a few plot contrivances in the film, but overall the film's so much fun, and Samuel Jackson is great in it. Brian Cox is great in it. The whole idea and how it plays out, I mean, you can't take it all that seriously, and you're right, Rook, it's a very much like a Bourne Identity kind of story. She's a kick-ass assassin. She was raised like Black Widow was, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But it's a fun template for a story. I mean, if it's done multiple times anyway, right? It's like somebody loses their memory and it's a kind of a new life, and you start to remember some of the old, and whatever skills sort of come forth and all of that. It's kind of a fun story to see unravel.
This one's done in a fun way, and see, we've never had female-led action movies ever before till recently. So
yeah, right. No, and she's actually a badass female heroine-esque anti-hero heroine who you believe, right? Like, because they even say, you were basically raised as this assassin, and just the life that she's led. And sure, there's some scenes where she probably couldn't have been able to physically do the things she's done, but it's a lot more believable than most of the shit nowadays.
Yeah, you actually believe it. I mean,
Well,
and she does.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and she's not like a Mary Sue either, because she does get her ass kicked and tied up and everything. So
damn
she's
near
not,
dies a few times.
Damn near, yes. So it's like she actually has a journey in the movie where she's not like the perfect, most wonderful assassin ever. So
yeah, I feel like we can accept a woman beating up like a strong guy if she gets beaten as well, or it has to be a back and forth of some kind throughout the film where she has some wins and some losses. It can't just be I just dominate.
Well, I mean, she's badass, but yeah, she's not like uber dominant. And yeah, I forgot Corley and Rogue. You're right. I totally spaced out so yeah, this is clearly probably inspired by Bourne. Probably gave this some inspiration for sure.
I didn't even actually mean to connect the two. It just sounded.
I didn't even think about it all that much until you said it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, duh.
I was really just more guessing. Like, is it? I don't even know. It is a lot
like that, because as she starts remembering, it's because she first thinks she's a chef because she starts cutting things really fast.
Yeah.
And then she's got skills with the knife. That's why.
And she's been at war with Plankton for years and helping Mr. Crab with
Exactly.
Squidward
That's
to
right.
Mr. Crab. So
Absolutely. Yeah. No, like obviously she was this government assassin for her whole life almost, basically. And then when she got amnesia, she found herself in a hospital, knocked up, with no idea who she was, where she came from, or anything like that. So yeah.
This was an 80s or 90s movie or 2000s,
late
was it?
90s, I think it was. I can't remember. Let me look here.
96.
95. I was right the first time.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
95 on here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
like how
probably
movies. I like how movies back then always like they have like almost the same type of thing. Like the super awesome killer professional, whatever, has to deal with blah blah blah, and it's like they make it cool every time. Even though it's like, yeah, you've pretty much done a lot of similar ideas, but they make it really fun in different ways.
Well, that's my point.
in
Is
all
it
these
stretches believability way past the point. Like all of this is so convenient, like that it's happening all at the same time. But
Yeah,
it just works for the movie because it works for the movie.
but it's like that sounds like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type of thing or something. If he like grabs, if he like grabs a missile that's shot at him or something, and he drop kicks it back at the tank, it's like, yeah, of course. Like,
well, I don't
he's
even mean that
good,
so
you
much
know?
as like I said, it
Like-
happens to do with like she just so happens to start remembering who she is at the exact same time they happen to come across.
That's fine. I'm just saying. I'm more general. I'm generalizing movies.
Yeah,
I'm generalizing movies of the era.
And the deal that she was supposed to stop to begin with is actually happening now at this time period. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's all
The coincidences line up. Just
But
right
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying was like fun about some of those movies. Like I'm generalizing the era of like the action person blank and it's fun and cool and whatever But then this happens and it's like, okay, sweet. Or something.
Well, even as Boba Fett points out, Total Recall has a similar plot. Yeah,
I guess it's like the strong assassin person now has to deal with raising ducks or something, and then what's going to happen there? And it's an action thriller of some kind and drama and all.
Oh, you'd like this movie. You'd like this.
They make it fun.
You probably would.
It's from Rennie Harlan. Yeah,
I might
it's from
have
Rennie
this
Harlan.
movie. I have to check if I have this movie. I don't know.
He's the guy who directed like Die Hard 2 and Deep Blue Sea and help me out here. What else did he do?
Didn't he do a Nightmare on Elm Street?
Well, he did originally. Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was his first
Oh,
movie.
shit. Okay, good resume.
Yeah, I'm trying, but he's got other more well-known
Yeah,
films. I'm drawing blank here now. All of a sudden, Cliffhanger. Thank you, Double Fat. That's what I was trying to think of. Cliffhanger and he did quite a few. Cutthroat was what killed his. Ford Fairlane, yeah, he did that one.
Cutthroat, yeah, Ford Fairlane.
Cutthroat Island was what killed his career. That's it.
Yes, he couldn't cut it.
He did The Cleaner with Samuel L. Jackson in it. Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you try to girl boss too hard back in the 90s. We just weren't going to have that shit.
Yeah.
The Cleaner, isn't that the new Daisy Ridley movie
Honestly,
or something?
People love Cutthroat Island. I saw it for the first time like 5-10 years ago. And I'm just like, what is the audience for this? This movie is fucking wretched. This movie deserved to bomb. Like, it was bad. See, Corley, I get it. Some people do. Maybe you must have had to have seen it as a kid. That's all I have to say, because I saw it as an adult and I'm just like, yeah, I can see why this movie bombed. It is just a mess. This makes Waterworld look like a fucking masterpiece. And I have the 4K. I was going to watch it again here not at some point again to reassess it, but yeah. I just remember not liking it that much when I saw it not too long, like not that many years ago because I got the Blu-ray, I think it was.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, yeah, Brian Barth, I guess you could say it was her last chance at A-lister. I think she did more afterwards, but I can't remember.
She did all right for a while. She did a TV show here not that long ago, didn't she?
Was she on the TV show?
I think so. Where she was like the lead. And now she also did a bunch of that consulting during the woke years of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think she does a lot more producing and writing now. It's like she wrote a children's book or something like that too, didn't she?
I think so. I mean, like I kind of dropped off after a while on her, so I, I don't know.
This is just like common knowledge that I remember over the last few years hearing about things that she does over time. Just like she always keeps popping up here and there.
Yeah, I remember her doing consulting for the woke stuff. I remember that. but I don't know.
I
About
know
that.
she was on some prestigious network show here not too long ago, or like the Something's Wife or something like that. I'm trying to
Oh
think.
yeah, wasn't she like a president or something, or something to do with the
What the hell
president?
was it?
The
Yeah.
hitman bodyguard's wife or something.
No. Like a senator's wife or something like that it was called. I can't remember. Or first wife or something like that. I can't remember.
She was in the Exorcist TV show playing Reagan.
She was in that. I remember that too. But she was in some other show too, I swear. I could be wrong or mixing her up with somebody else too.
I think you're not far off. I do remember some
Where
kind
I
of
picture she's always in
show.
like some suit type deal where she's like, yeah, it has something to do with politics.
Yeah, that's what I remember. It's something that now that I think about it, it's something to do with politics. Yeah, I think I do think she was the Archer.
Commander in Chief, that's it. Thank you, Venom Bite.
There you go. I knew something. She's a president. She becomes president, doesn't she?
Yes, that's it. She's a female president. Yep.
Yeah.
I knew it was something in the back of my mind. I'm like, I know she did something here in recent years because she's always managed to stay on the radar. She was fine. Rennie was the one who took the hit from Cutthroat Island.
Yeah, he didn't do much after. Not much. I mean, he did a lot, but nothing really good.
Honestly, I don't even know if are they still even together. I think they divorced not that long after that, didn't they? I don't remember now.
But the guy, I thought she was married to the Matthew Modine, wasn't she?
She
was
was
it
originally
Rennie
married to
Harlan?
Rennie Harlan.
Oh, she was married. Okay, that's
why she only made Rennie
Okay.
Harlan movies for like fucking 5-10 years.
That makes
and
more
then-
sense.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
I think they got divorced sometime after that, if I'm not mistaken. Unless they're still together, and I didn't know that. But
I
don't
would assume
think
they're
they
probably
are.
divorced.
because Rennie Harlan was delegated to doing like The Exorcist, which is weird that she was in The Exorcist TV show because he did The Exorcist, the beginning remake of Paul Schrader's Exorcist movie.
Yeah.
Whole nother weird fucking thing.
That's funny.
No,
No,
I can recommend it. It's a little pricey. Do I wish they still possibly could, but Gina's a little old now.
I'm personally glad they didn't because I kind of like the one and done story.
Well, it'd be kind of like, what would be the point? What's the story? Why bother?
Basically.
Where are the actors at? Do we
What are
need
you gonna
this?
do? Have her daughter now be an assassin? Yeah, like what's the point?
Don't give them ideals.
Yeah, no, it's dumb. It's I say it's best left alone.
Make a
She's
movie
nuts now,
inspired
too.
by that movie if they want to try something different and not.
The fact that Gina was able to make
Piggyback.
this movie at that time and become the woman she did eventually become is almost an anomaly because like watching this movie, I was really, really looking this time for like, is there any girl bossy Mary Sue bullshit? And oh no, she's put through the ringer, like Greg said.
Yeah, I mean they get her, they tie her up, they drown,
And they don't
drown her and everything.
And they actually kind of give her like I'm actually kind of surprised. I forgot how lackadaisy she was about her kid until near the end of the film.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like, especially considering in contrast, I mean, of course that's part of the movie, but I mean, I totally spaced that out because I'm like, God, they would never let her do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, there's so many. That's the thing I noticed more so watching it this time. Is like, it's not so much things that they would attach to now or girl boss her up or anything. It's like things that they wouldn't allow now that are in the movie more so. Like, I mean, like there's a scene, like, I don't even know how they'd handle it now, but the scene where she's trying to seduce Samuel Jackson, for instance, and he's like, you don't want me. You just want to forget about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when she's in the hotel room with him and she's like, yeah.
And she's like, fuck you, and leaves, yeah.
Yeah. And you're right, she doesn't really care about her husband or her kid.
Well, no, she wants to completely erase them from the whole equation now. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that being a part of the plot, but it stuck out to me more now because I'm like, I don't know if they would even let that slide now.
Oh yeah, they probably wouldn't give two shits about the husband, but she did be protecting that kid at all costs.
Nobody's worried about the husband, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because
the kid would be in the back seat with her and Samuel the whole movie.
Well, no, because she's ready to fucking leave, and the only reason she goes back is because she knows the kid's got the fucking key that she needs.
Mm-hmm.
And then she starts having the guilt trip. And Samuel Jackson is the one who's kind of got to give her the guilt trip in some ways.
Yeah. In the new version, it would be where she humiliates Samuel Jackson while she's right.
I mean, he's not humiliated, but he's obviously clearly out of his league, right? But
But I feel like that's a different circumstance to what the characters
but it's
are.
Kind of cool because there's
a
a great scene where he's like, what's all this you stuff? It's starting to sound like you don't need me anymore. She's like, you're right, and she kicks him out of the fucking car.
Well, it's like when you say it like that already, it's not having seen it. That sounds like he might be kind of wanting her to make that step of, can you do it without me? Okay.
Well, at first he is kind of that way.
You could have asked me to get out of the car. But then he clearly
realizes she's way in over her head, or at least she's not going to be able to do this by herself. And it kind of becomes, he's kind of the Jiminy Cricket of the story, right? Like he's her conscience. He's always there when he needs to be. She saves his ass at one point, so clearly she likes him. You can tell she likes him. But I mean, like, and then they get to know each other a little bit better on the road as they're doing their thing and all that kind of business. And they got great chemistry together and everything. Like, this is one of Samuel Jackson's best roles he's ever done. And I mean, he gets a lot to do with this movie too, because he has his own story with his son. It's kind of like the opposite flip. And you can tell some of that's kind of left on the cutting room floor, but it still plays into the fact that, she's ready to just say, fuck my kid, and take off. And he's like, no, hey, some people can't even see their kid. He doesn't say this, but that's kind of the thing is you can tell where his whole thing where his ex is making it more difficult and hell for him to see his kids. So like, yeah.
And he's not presented as like Nick Fury, whereas like he was presented Nick Fury, then he was mocked later on.
No, he's not Jules. He's not any of those characters. He's a completely different character, and he's got great little bits. Like I love his like dun, 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 and I put my keys in my pocket. Dun, 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 in the right one, and because he says like that's how I remember stuff. I sing a little song and then I remember I put my shoes onto the left side. I put my jacket over here.
Yeah, so like he's got this like character where, and he does have this heroic moment, so like it builds to his heroic moments in the movie as well. So, so Doba Fett says Sam Jackson has said this is his favorite movie to watch that he started.
I can see that. Yeah. He gets kind of the most to do in it compared to some of his other movies he's been in.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like he doesn't have to be like a characteristic of other characters he plays based on what you just said.
No, it is kind of one of his more unique.
That's probably why he likes it.
It might even be the most Samuel L. Jackson of all the characters too, for all we know. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, he's
freeing.
It's like, because he's probably one of the actors that's like, can you do you as this character?
It makes me wonder if he's not playing like what I get out of it, because he has this thing where he dresses like he's like clearly stuck in the 70s. Like that's another part of his character. So it almost makes me wonder if he's playing like an uncle or something. Is he? You know what I mean? Like he's just pulling from, you know what I mean? Because there's just something about it that feels so real and genuine that it's like he's doing something. He's pulling from something personal here. That
just playing a guy. Playing a guy.
That or it could just be almost like him in real life. I don't know.
Yeah. And see, let this be a lesson to you, kids. This was in 1996. It was a female fronted lead and a black guy with her, and they were the heroes of the movie. So don't listen to what everybody says nowadays. Oh, we've never had that before, ever.
No, Black Panther was the first black man on screen. Okay,
Jennifer Lawrence is the only female actress,
first woman.
Well, she inspired Gina to make this movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
I did see that.
If we speak of time as like, it doesn't matter where it starts and ends. That's right.
Yeah.
True.
I saw that where it's like Ridley Scott has finally admitted that the role of Ripley was written to be a man, but after seeing Jennifer Lawrence in the Hunger Games, decided to make it a woman.
I saw that.
Thought it'd be a better choice, for women's rights and feminism. Yeah. Same with Sarah Connor. That was also going to be his father, but they changed it to be the mother. So it's like, never mind. This will make more sense.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Not a tumor.
It's a ferret.
It's a ferret. I remember that.
I love how he says it. It's just, it's a ferret. It does not bite. You could get rabies. He doesn't have rabies.
You ate all the lunches.
You ate all the lunches. What's wrong with you?
He spits it all out there, throws it all up on him. All right. Well,
Yeah, that's what I have. What do you got for your last
okay,
one?
that's my final pick. As we talked about Anchor Bay earlier, I have the documentary Dinner with Leatherface from the new Anchor Bay.
I love how they got a little pirate ship there now.
Yes, it's a little pirate ship now. So with
Pirate.
some of the people
I mean,
in
it
it.
was always a ship, but it's got the little pirate.
Yeah, it's got the little
Jolly
pirate
Roger
crossing.
on it.
If you can, there. Yeah,
I believe that's called the Jolly Roger. Yes.
Yes, it's called the Jolly Roger, as far as I know. So yeah, this was a really, really good documentary. If you're a horror fan, so you have to be a horror fan and a fan of Gunnar
This
Hansen.
is one I've been wanting to get because like he died how long ago? Like
what did they say? I think they said he died in like 2016. At the
I was
end
gonna
of
say
it.
15, but it could have been 16.
You might be right. You might be 2015. It might be right because it does get to that. It wasn't. Well, I mean, it was technically not that. I guess 7 years ago. No, but I've been looking forward to that.
Try 10, man.
Yeah, 10 years. That's the 90s was only 10 years ago. What are you talking about?
The 80s was only 10 years ago.
I keep forgetting we're 2025 now.
I remember when I used to make fun of my dad for always losing a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore.
Right.
It's like that was 20 years. What do you mean it was 40 years ago?
Exactly.
What?
It feels like
Shit,
I just
you're
watched
right.
it yesterday. No,
it's
but
this is the 35th anniversary of the Ninja Turtles. 35 years.
They're long. It's been a long time since they've been teenagers.
My back
It's
hurts.
the 50th anniversary of Jaws. Jaws is half a century old.
Are they going to
And
make
so-
like a Ninja Turtles where they're all like, in their 50s or something, and it's like,
funny you mentioned
senior turtles or something, and it's like
Not
I can see that
quite.
being I can see that being a fun like comedic show
They've
with like a
already
little bit
done
of
that.
action. That'd be kind of funny.
They've already done jokes on that, but they're actually doing the last
I mean, like
Ronin,
if they
which
took it
is
seriously,
old
a
Turtles.
little bit.
Yeah, the
Kinda
last
fun.
Technically old turtles.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but speaking of, it's also the 51st anniversary of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes, the 55th anniversary. Yes, so like this goes over Gunnar Hansen, who is the original Leatherface. It's the story of him and how he came to be and who he really was. And it's a very heartfelt. Like once it gets to the moment of like where he's passing away and everything, yes,
You felt your heart all right.
yes, it does get to you. I mean, because they say it in the movie 100 times that he was just a really gentle giant of a man. He is completely different, as most of them are, from the character of Leatherface. Like he was, I keep forgetting. I know he's from. I think they said Scandinavia, but he's like from over there in like Iceland and over there is where he's from. And he moved to Maine when he was a kid, and he lived there till he was like 6, and then he moved to Austin, Texas, and that's where he grew up. And when he got into college, he got into theater, and Toby Hooper and them were coming into town, and they were looking for people to be in their movie for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they told him he should go, and he was like, nah, I don't really want to go. And then they convinced him to go out, and then he's like, he got the part, and he thought it would just be a fun summer job. That's really what he looked at, like a fun summer job, and he did it, and it came to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So and
little did he know it would become the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, the most terrifying film of all. And so like
terrifying night ever.
Yes, and so he did that, and after that he moved back to Maine and wrote poems and books and stuff because he was actually a genius. He was a writer and a genius. And he said people would be calling him after the movie to do parts in other movies, and he turned them down. He turned down Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. They called him to be in that, and he turned them down. He said, and so it wasn't until the movie Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers did he sort of get back into acting, because Fred Olen Ray called him up and said, "Hey, would you do this movie?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And he stayed with him, and then he did that. Then he just started doing a bunch of like conventions, horror conventions, because he had never done them and he was unaware of what was going on. And so they got him into doing that, and he started doing low budget movies and stuff. And so it really goes over his whole life of like what happened to him after that, and like all the people that he met and lives they touched. So like tons of the independent directors he talked to. Kane Hodder's in it, Bruce Campbell's in it, all the remaining cast members of Texas Chainsaw Massacre are in it, and it's just amazing like how much they kept in touch with him and stuff, and how much they cared for him. And like even the girls of the Evil Dead are in it, because I guess he had a thing with them at the conventions where he helped them get into it and everything. And so, no, it's like this very poignant, like I said, you really have to be a horror fan, because it is a very poignant thing, and it really does go through this, and what these guys sort of go through once they become a horror icon, and how he was pretty much, like with Canon and with the Warner Brothers, they kind of, the directors both wanted him back as Leatherface, but they wouldn't pay. They were paying for cost, and they wouldn't pay him to come back because he would get more money. And so they wouldn't do it. But it is fun to see like him interact with all the other Leatherfaces that have been in other movies and stuff, because like he sort of like him and the guy from part 2 sort of became really good friends and stuff like that. So like it goes over all of that. And Bruce Campbell does have a great line in the documentary. He's like, most of the time the people who play the villains are the nicest people you will ever see, and most of the time the people who play the heroes are the biggest assholes you will ever meet. So it's a great line, and that's pretty true. Once you really do watch these stuff and talk to these people, usually the bad guys are the nicest people around. But yeah, I can highly recommend it. It's a fun documentary. I actually do know the director of this documentary. I've had him on my channel a couple times before this came out. I'm trying to get him back to come on to talk about this documentary. We're trying to figure out a day and a time, so whenever that happens, we'll have him on. I'll have him back on the channel. But yeah, if it's a new Anchor Bay movie, it is a little pricey. I won't lie, it's a little pricey, but I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. But then again, like we've said before, it's not. I mean, these are we've paid movies. I've paid more for movies in the past on VHS sometimes and stuff, growing up, than I have on this. But no, Tom, I think you would dig it. Rookie, you would be lost. You haven't seen half the shit and half the people they've talked to in this documentary. But you know what? I thought it was really cool. Like they talked to the hitchhiker from the first movie, because we know Bill Moseley plays his twin brother in the second movie. Listening to that guy, Chop. Listening to him, the original hitchhiker talk, they're fucking brothers. They're brothers.
I know, right?
Like,
I
that
thought
guy's
they were
just
the
as
same
fucking
guy.
crazy as
I didn't know for years that they weren't the same fucking guy.
I mean, exactly, and he's just as crazy as Bill Moseley. Listening to him talk,
confused because I always thought they were the same fucking guy.
Yeah,
playing the same fucking character. Years it took me to realize, and I think I told you this like when we were talking about it when I brought on the Vinegar Syndrome one. I was like, it took years before I realized that he's a completely different fucking character, and his brother is the fucking dead body they keep dragging around.
Because he got run over.
I love that fucking movie.
I do. I love part 2. Part 2 is great.
It is so fucking funny. It is the funniest horror movie ever made. You fucked up my Sonny Bono wig.
Man, just listening to the original Hitchhiker, he's like, yeah, you're Bill Moseley's brother. You are Bill Moseley's brother. Just listening to him talk in that documentary. It's like, yeah, I know that's perfect casting. Legit perfect casting for both of those characters.
Hey, you like head cheese? Well, I'm sure that's all Moseley was trying to do, was just mimic him, and they're just so similar, right? That again, as a kid growing up, I was probably a teenager, at least, if not maybe in my 20s or later, before I realized it. that they were a different character altogether. I just thought they were the same fucking character. I don't know.
Because of the way it plays. But no, it was great, and like even Grandpa, the original Grandpa's in this. He's pretty rough now, but he looks. Well, he's actually a younger guy in that suit, so he's so now he's actually old. But no, it was fun listening to all those people and how like they were really they really loved him.
And I just gotta be okay. So just for some, why my brain worked this way. So everybody's, especially if you're like, how did you never figure that out before? Like I just wasn't paying that much attention, and I thought the whole head plate thing was he survived. I figured he survived getting hit by the truck, but he got a head plate from it. That's what I thought. Like I was like, okay, all right, it's a horror movie. I'm gonna lie. I'll let that slide. You know what I mean? Like,
I can believe it.
So my kid logic, and you gotta understand, I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 when it was like fucking brand new.
Yeah.
Right. Like I didn't know, and all I know is like I'd only seen the first one maybe once or twice when I'd seen the second one. So like, yeah, I had no idea. I was just like, and I'd seen the second one probably a dozen more times than I'd seen the first one growing up.
Yeah,
because that was the infinitely more watchable one.
It is. I mean, like the original is an all-time horror classic. It is a rough watch.
It's grueling.
It's grueling. It's a rough watch, but that's why it's a classic and still holds up and scary. But that second movie is like you can rewatch that constantly because it's so much more fun. But no, it was great, and it was also like because we know he was in Texas Chainsaw 3D, the one that Adam Marcus wrote. He does have an appearance in that, but they were talking to
he plays a different character in the family, but yeah,
different character. But speaking of which, the hitchhiker guy, he said Gunnar did tell him one of his biggest regret, not one of his biggest regrets, but one of the regrets that a job he never took is they offered him to be the truck driver in the remake Texas Chainsaw Massacre that would pick up Jessica Biel.
Oh yeah,
they offered to like have him save her from Leatherface at the end of the movie, and he said he turned it down. And then like the hitchhiker guy was like, he told him years later, he's like, I really wish I would have took that part. He told him he really wished he would have took it. Yeah, because it would have been cool to see the original Leatherface save her from Leatherface. So yeah, so he said he did regret turning that down because that was Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's one of the reasons why I give the Texas Chainsaw 3D some points. It's because they actually have Gunnar in it. So
they have Gunnar and Bill Moseley. Yeah. But I mean, that movie could have been so much better if they wouldn't have messed with Adam's stuff. So much better. But no, like for the most part, they would never bring him back. They wouldn't pay for him for all the other movies until like they started remaking them. Then they wanted him for the remake, and then they wanted him for part, Texas Chainsaw 3D and stuff. But they do tell this really great story, which I thought was funny. It was like because he would do like a lot of these really small, low budget independent films, and he signed on to do this one, and he was only supposed to work for 12 hours, and they needed him to stay longer, and they didn't know how to do it. So like the director came up to him and was like, listen, we need more. And they said, Gunnar was like, these pants you got my character, they're really comfortable. And the director was like, do you want them? And he's like, yeah. So he stayed and he finished, he shot more just so because they gave him the pants because he liked the pants. They were really comfortable. So that's how they got him to stay. So he said that's the type of guy he was. He would just he would do slim to none for everybody. But it was a good documentary. I liked it. So I would recommend it if you guys want it. What is wrong with slasher horror today? I'll give you 2 reasons. Well, I guess you could multiple. Scream is one of them because I love Scream, but it ruined the slasher genre. And 2, modern BS bullshit ruins the slasher genre because now everything is like they've revisited it to be feminism and modern audiences, and it's misogynist against women and all this. Like I'm so tired of hearing that shit about slasher movies. So yeah. Well,
I'm curious so we got Final Destination coming out, which I loved the original one because it kind of brought the Scream era to an end. Right, it was one of the last of those, and when you see it, it's like, oh, this is a movie that doesn't suffer from all the Screamisms, even though they sold it like it was a Scream movie. And then when you see it, it's not. It's clever, but the characters are not self-aware like they are in a Scream movie.
Exactly.
So that one might be interesting. I don't know how the newer one's going to do. But with the new Scream movie coming out, I hope to gosh that some of the stuff we've been hearing about what's going on behind the scenes with all the trouble with the last one that never happened, that if with Kevin Williamson involved and all the original people that are being brought back in and all this other business, that they don't somehow erase the last two movies out of existence. And this movie starts off, because I mean, if we got Dewey and everybody back, which we're hearing now, it's like, okay, so what are you going to do? Unless it's a bunch of
they'll be back
shit.
As ghosts.
If they are, then fuck this movie. For everything that it's. I mean, then again, unless they're doing it to make fun of the other one, I don't know. I'm almost curious to see what the deal is with Kevin Williamson coming back, because I know it makes me wonder if he even likes the last two films.
It does make you wonder, because I'm hoping that he could, like we said, I love the Scream movies, I do, but they did do a lot of damage to horror and the slasher genre. But if Kevin Williamson can come in and successfully right the ship, and I really wish this would make this the last one and kind of end it. That would.
They need to make an actual final. They need to make an actual final finale of one where it's like seriously legit guys it will make it a law to never make another Scream movie ever again. It's done. And
otherwise, the only way I would love it is if what, like you said, Greg, where it's like a New Nightmare type movie.
Exactly.
Where everybody's playing themselves. And I said, the only way you can fix it then at the end is that Kevin Williamson is the killer.
Yeah. yes. And
it's kind of a Scream 3 kind of thing where people start dying off as they do in the script, like New Nightmare and shit like that. It'd be hilarious.
Yes. That would be great. That would be funny. Now, see, I know his niece and the actors are in them, but they don't say they're actually playing the same characters.
Yeah, but who knows? Unless
it is like a New Nightmare type thing.
Unless it starts out that the last two movies, and did you say this or somebody else said this to me, and this would be brilliant too, that they play off that the last two movies were actually stab films.
No, I didn't say that, but that would be funny. That'd be great.
And that Gail Weathers played herself.
That would be great.
What else am I gonna do?
That would work so well as well too.
The Sydney,
and then you would have Dewey like, bitch, I can't believe you talked me into being the one and getting killed.
Yeah. Like Parker Posey being so pissed that they replaced her with the actual Gail Weathers.
Yeah.
That'd be a rare case of improving.
They replaced me with you playing me, but not you, me, you, me. You know what I mean?
Because they had a great rapport. I don't care what anybody says. That they were great.
Their chemistry made Scream 3.
It was great.
Like, whose idea was it to have a ghost in ghost face? Really? And stab.
I do know that.
Well, it's been a while since they've kind of gotten into the whole stab thing again, and I've been hearing rumors for a while that like a couple of scripts did revolve around a stab movie again.
Mm-hmm.
So like that was kind of like one of the rumors I'd heard was like one of the Sydney scripts was, again, they were doing like a stab revival film, like the Scream film.
Mm-hmm.
The stab film saved the Scream franchise.
Well, it would be hilarious if because like what was it? The first one, the Scream 10, the Scream one, the one that they didn't just called Scream 5 or whatever.
Yeah, Scream 5.
It starts out with like that multi-beginning or thing or whatever. Or is that part 4? One of them does.
That's part 4, I think.
Yeah, so just do something like that again. You pick up with the last ending of the last movie, and then the audience is like, "Oh God, this is stupid.
Like, oh, that's so dumb. They're gonna time travel in 7."
Yeah.
And then you have like fucking Gail and Dewey walk out together, and then like you said, like at least you got to be in this one. They killed me off in the last one.
Yeah.
They were gonna bring you back. Yeah, I know, but that'd be dumb.
If I was him, I would.
And then that's where you got like what's his face who played Stu? I just forgot his damn name.
Matthew
Lillard come in and go like, well, at least you guys got to be in this one.
I mean, it would work because he was supposed to be in like the actual Scream 5. He was supposed to come back.
I just hope to God they don't do the whole the twin brother / and or
Oh,
he
yeah.
never actually died
Died
thing.
thing,
That would be so
yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, everybody keeps on saying, or at least Justin Proper always does, that Shaggy could be the villain again, and
Yeah.
Scream, of
Well, that's
course.
what they need to do is cross over Scream with Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
I mean, why
Have you ever
not?
seen
Honestly,
that?
what's
Have you
stopping
ever
them?
seen that?
I've
The-
seen like the people do like the little things, but like
No,
I've never actually seen an animated
Cartoon
thing.
Network did a Scooby-Doo Scream parody.
Oh no, I never seen that.
It's a commercial where it's Shaggy. It's actually Casey Kasem. It's not Matthew Lillard, but it's like Daphne's making popcorn. She's in the house doing all that, and it's like Shaggy's calling her as like Ghostface. And then it's at the end, it's just Shaggy showing up to her house, you know. But it's a great, fun little thing. It's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Steven, as we've said before, is a perfect ending for the film.
Yeah.
Comments on the remake, reboot thing already 10 years before they did.
It was like an unneeded, but still well accepted enough. It's like, all right, that's good.
That's one of the problems with the new ones is like the guys clearly didn't get Wes Craven. They didn't respect him. Wes Craven commented on the remakes well before they did, much better than they did.
Mm-hmm.
And
they had this asinine idea that nobody liked the sequels.
Exactly. I mean, like part 2 is considered one of the greatest horror slasher sequels of all time.
Oh man, I saw that one in the theater more times than I did the first one.
Right? I mean,
got a phone call later, guys.
All right,
see you later. Yeah, we're done. Getting done.
Yeah,
we
we're
moved
done
on
here.
from Leatherface.
We're on to Scream again. No, that was my fault. That was all my fault.
No, I get it, but I do know that Dewey is David Arquette is back because of Courtney Cox. She wouldn't come back for this one if they didn't bring him back.
Well, hopefully that's a
flat out
sign
said
that
that.
something's up, and I hope to God it's not the ghost dad shit again.
Oh, I hope it. I've heard some stuff about like AI and deep fakes, so I really hope.
Unless they're going into the third killer thing and it's not Roman, or they're gonna, because he's coming back too, so it might be maybe they'll go back into that first night and we'll see what's going on there a little bit more from Roman's angle or something like that, potentially. Like that kind of a thing I don't have a problem with, because that's something the Scream franchise has always been pretty good at the whole idea of what you think is what it is isn't, like, what we learned about Sydney's mom and all that kind of business in the original Affair and all that kind of stuff, and expanded into the stuff that she did in Hollywood and all that, so like that kind of thing they've always been pretty decent with in the earlier films. So I wouldn't have an issue if they find a way to wrap it all together in some nice little bow and make this the last Scream.
Yeah, it really needs to be the last one. It really does.
And disregard the last two.
Yeah, get rid of them. All right, well, I think we'll close it down. But I do recommend Dinner with Leatherface if you have not seen it.
Yeah, I gotta get that one.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one. But yeah, I'm hoping to have the director Michael Cleo on the channel here soon. So we'll talk about that. But as always, thank you. Good night, Brian Bart. Thank you to everybody out there in the chat, everybody at home watching. I appreciate you guys. As always, like, share, subscribe to Tom, mine, Rook's channel if you want to watch his videos. Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys. And as always, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
How you doing? Bitches leave.